everybody. Today is August 19th. I believe our minutes actually have that wrong here. And it's 7:30, and this is our full council meeting. If you'll stay with us, if we're able to continue starting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. President, could you do a roll call?
With pleasure. Ms. Brewer?
Here.
Mr. Fisher? Dr. Fisher, both are absent. Ms. Primer?
Here.
Ms. Mail?
Here.
Mr. Michelson?
Here. We'll be setting the agenda next, assuming everyone has had an opportunity to take a look at it. I would like to add a executive session for matters of personnel and finances.
Is there a motion to excuse either Mr. or Dr. Fisher?
I apologize. Yes, is there such a motion?
Motion to excuse Mr. and Dr. Fisher.
Is there
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That was one motion for both?
Correct.
And again, on the motion to accept the agenda as amended, or are there any other amendments to that?
You wanted to add an executive session?
Correct.
Don't know if that was clear or not.
Yeah, I want to add an executive session for matters of personnel and finance.
Where do you want to submit that?
I was thinking at the end of the meeting. Be easiest. This concerns the solicitor RFP. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And no persons registered to address the council this evening. We have minutes to be approved for two of our previous council meetings, that from July 2nd and from August 7th. Any comments on that? Motion to approve?
Just the only thing is on, it just says on the July meeting, it says July 8th instead of, what, I forget the date that you mentioned.
It says July 7th in our agenda notes here. Anybody remember which?
July
Monday
8th was your day.
So sorry, this says July 2nd or versus July 8th.
The minutes are correct.
The minutes are correct, so
We had meetings on both dates. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
so these minutes are correct. You're saying it,
Yes.
these are minutes for July 8th. Is there a motion to approve?
The minutes for July 8th,
Yes.
motion to approve minutes from July 8th.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
And our other set of minutes are from August 7th. Is there a motion to approve? Any discussion needed?
Motion to approve minutes from August 7th.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye. I do have a quick question about minutes though. Do we need to approve any minutes from our emergency session that we had?
That's
That's
what
That's
this is.
word.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
So the answer is yes.
No, okay.
But it doesn't look like we have minutes from
Did we?
the meeting on July 8th.
No, the July 2nd ones, that says July 2nd, that's really July 8th.
Got it. And you guys already voted on
Yeah,
the
that's
July
what I'm
2nd
getting.
minutes. Got it.
Yes.
I'm following. It's just the link in the minutes or in the agenda
Yeah.
has the,
No, well,
it points to the right one. The text for the 2nd needs to be changed to the 8th.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's where I was getting confused. Okay.
Great, Chief Meter, do you have a Deer Park Superintendent Fire District report?
Okay, a couple things. So first part of August, I sent out the media report that we typically send to all of our member departments or our member communities. Really nothing too out of the ordinary other than runs are down by about 13% from the same period last year. So the first half of last year versus first half this year. We're not the only ones seeing that. A lot of calls across the county for some reason are down. No rhyme or reason to it. So we'll see how things pick back up the rest of the year. In the Gulf Manor proper, the top dispatches were what we see pretty much in all of our jurisdictions, sick person, which is a kind of a catch-all code for you don't know what else to put. Trouble breathing, EMS assist, abdominal pains, and cardiac events are your top 5. We're seeing a lot of EMS assist now coming in across all of our communities. A lot of that has to do with the aging populations that we see around our towns. People want to stay in their homes longer, which I completely understand, but they sometimes have some difficulties with their balance, moving around, that kind of thing. So we are called quite often to help pick people off the floor. They're not usually injured. We transport them if they really need to be. If not, we try to assess the situation, determine why they're falling. Is it something with their home? Can we point them towards some resources that might help? Council on Aging, for example. So again, nothing out of the ordinary from the Gulf Manor perspective as compared to the rest of the jurisdictions. We get into July. Again, you guys are just about on average, or 54 dispatches to the village. Fire loss was only $100, and that was a gentleman whose lawnmower caught fire when he was mowing his yard over on Sandville, one of the apartments. So really a very quiet month in terms of anything significant going on. And that is pretty much the runs to date. We do have a board meeting tomorrow night at our fire station at 4:30. That's the one that we have every other month. Not a lot going on there. We're looking at some, again, as always, some hiring challenges that the county is facing, trying to find qualified personnel. We're doing well, but we'd like to do better. So we're looking at some options there to bring some new people on board. We're actually attempting a project now where we're going to hire EMTs, fire EMTs. We'll pay for their tuition to go to paramedic school. It allows us to hire a couple of internal candidates that have been there for a while, so we know how well they work within our system. Now we're kind of taking the chance on the medical portion, but they've got a good group of mentors there that I think will get them through. So it may be the way of the future, paying for some of this education that we've always expected them to have when they came in the door. So it's something that my board was willing to try. I'm willing to try it too. So hopefully that'll alleviate some of the issues we've been having. And again, it's a countywide issue. It's not specific to us. It's police are the same way. It's difficult to find people that want to work in public safety these days. So aside from that, otherwise we're looking pretty good. The only big thing we have in the pipe is we'll be doing a open house on October 10th. Let me verify the date. I'm coming back from out of town. Calendar. I think I have that date wrong. It's not the 10th. October 12th. We'll be doing an open house at Station 89 from, we're planning right now from 11 to 3 p.m., just 4 hours. A chance for residents to come up, see what we do, meet our staff. We can meet some of the residents. Open to the public of any community. It doesn't have to be Deer Park, Overton, Columbia, Gulf Manor. If we get people from Cincinnati or Sycamore Township want to stop by, we're happy to show off our stuff. And aside from that, we were going to be down to, on Wednesday with the 513 Relief Bus. I got the message this morning that's been changed to September 5th. So we still anticipate being down here for that. Just provide some literature. Again, just meet and greet some of your residents. If they have questions of the bus, we'll be there to answer them. We'll probably be the duty crew, so they might get to see us go on some runs from time to time while we're here. But we're looking forward to that to help you guys out and help the 513 in their efforts here to get services that the village needs.
Thank you.
And other than that, I don't really have much else for the council unless you guys have any questions of me.
Just one quick question.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Is our residents or anyone else able to call to maybe schedule a tour outside of that open house day?
Absolutely. So we are always willing to give tours. Summertime, the doors are open, so we get a lot of impromptu people walking by with their kids. If you'd like to specifically bring maybe your school group up or your children up, I'm fine with that. Just call ahead of time, especially when we're starting to get into the winter season now, right, or the fall. We might not always see us there with the doors open. But yeah, if you just call the non-emergency line, we can schedule, make sure somebody's going to be there. We can kind of judge how big the group is going to be. And then especially when we have the kids come through, we have coloring books and crayons and the plastic fire hats for them. Give them pictures, as many as they want inside the fire trucks. That's always a big thing.
Awesome.
So yeah, we are more than happy. Again, it doesn't have to be that day. Any day, we're happy to provide a tour. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
the staff loves it. It's fun.
Great.
And we like to brag about what we do.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you very much. And again, as always, if you have any questions, please reach out. Don't hesitate. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, for the mayor's report, a number of items here. First, Finance Committee appointments. I'd like to make 2 appointments of residents to the Finance Committee. I have a nomination for one of those slots, but I've still not met with them to confirm their interest. If you are a resident that has interest or know of a resident that has interest, please let me know. We have significant need for additional members on our Finance Committee. Update on the development of new objectives and measures for the village administrator. In collaboration with the executive committee, myself and the village administrator, new objectives and measures have been developed for future guidance of the Office of Administrator. The administration will be providing final feedback on the draft this week, at which point I'll send the document to the executive committee for final review. Solicitor RFP update. I'm requesting an executive session this evening for matters of personnel and finances. Every year, the council is tasked with confirming the position of solicitor. The administration was tasked with providing some alternate candidates for review, and I'll be providing an update on that process. Update on RFP for Parks Master Plan. I received a draft of the RFP at the end of last week and have provided my feedback to the village administrator, directed him to have the revised version sent out to council for council feedback on Wednesday of this week, 8/21. We're requesting that council provide feedback by Wednesday of the 28th, Wednesday 28th, so a week. Update on the strategic plan, planning process in general. I received a request for an update on when council will be getting feedback on the strategic plan and rolling it out to committees. For context, any council member can select a project on or off the strategic plan to pursue and request that portions of their project be addressed by the committees. The power of the full council selecting a project or 1 of 3 projects is the mandate it represents to the administration, especially when the selection is unanimous. In such a case, the administration has a clear message about which project of the multiple projects always on their table should take priority for attention and provision of updates to council. The idea of the strategic plan was initially pitched to the village as a way to increase our advantage for competitive grants. If a grant pops up out of nowhere with a short window in which to respond, we can quickly show that we have been thinking about and planning how we would use that money if it's granted to us. The strategic plan we created represents the constituencies of all the council members that contributed to it. It was unanimously passed by council because it looked professional and represented everyone's projects. There isn't necessarily a next step to the process other than us individually or as a group picking what we want to work on or off the plan. If anyone has an idea for a project that isn't on the strategic plan, we can always add it if a majority of the council supports it. That's my understanding of what Charlotte has been, our chair of community engagement, has been pursuing with community engagement, reaching out so people see what's on the bucket list, seeing if anything is missing, and what people's priorities are. Arguably, the next step would be letting council know which items on the plan people like best and whether there are any missing items. We've also talked about reaching back out to the consultant that got us started on this to advise us on creating a document to share the strategic plan with the community, more so than we've already done with the community engagement, including an ordered list of priority projects. Personally prefer a more flexible format than an ordered list whereby council members can bring the projects of importance to their constituency to council whenever they find a grant that aligns with it within the strategic plan. I don't want any list of priorities within the strategic plan to cause us to miss out on grants that further the movement on the bucket list. Any decisions on spending or budget conflicts between one project and another will be addressed by council with advice from the finance committee and fiscal officer as usual. If there are any questions or comments about what is currently in the strategic plan or preferences concerning prioritization of items on it or off the bucket list, please bring those to the attention of our community engagement chair.
Some comments surrounding that will be addressed in my committee report. I do think that there are some inaccuracies in what you are stating, but we will we'll address that in the committee report.
Sure. Economic Development Task Force. I reported last month my intention to create an Economic Development Task Force. In consultation with the solicitor, I've decided to make this task force a committee. I'm sensitive to the schedules of council members and know that adding one more committee to their schedules is an additional burden. As I mentioned in my previous report, I'd like this committee to be composed primarily of village residents who have experience with grant writing and thereby supplement our workforce. When we need volunteers to help write grants, the committee will have two main functions. One is to work with the administration in reviewing priorities and plans for the economic prosperity of the village. In this capacity, they will advise council on the progress of economic and development initiatives, make recommendations to council with input from other committee chairs. Second function will be to maintain a database of village residents who have experience in grant writing and are willing to volunteer as needed and on a moment's notice to research grant opportunities and or respond quickly to a grant that has a very short application window. Ideally, the committee will primarily consist of such residents. So I'm asking members of council and our village residents who are interested to let me know and your fellow council members know so that we can get you on board or at least into this database. I am prepared to begin appointing members to this committee as soon as we have 5 or more interested candidates. First Suburbs quarterly meeting this Thursday will be held at the Silverton Town Hall and will feature Honorable Alicia Reese, President of the Hamilton County Commissioners, who will speak on current events and initiatives in Hamilton County. The event is free to the public and includes free meal. Registration is requested ASAP if you plan on attending. The event is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Thursday of next week, August 29th. Contact me if you'd like to register. Recreation Commissioners and Leadership. The Recreation Commission will be having a meeting tomorrow night, August 20th at 6 p.m. to elect their leadership and ask any questions they may have about their scope of responsibilities with our solicitor in attendance. In preparation for that meeting, I want to ask for a motion to nominate former Vice Mayor Ashley Snyder for appointment by the council as one of the commissioners. Ms. Snyder has been participating in community engagement rec meetings and I believe would make an excellent addition to this group. Is there such a motion?
She's already a member.
She was not elected by council, which determines who the commissioner. I know that she's been in this, is just fine tuning all that. She needs to be elected by the council to be officially the commissioner.
And I'll make the motion to do that.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Without objection, I take that as unanimous. Right. We also never formally elected a council liaison to the Recreation Commission after Ms. Snyder stepped down from council. The Community Engagement Chair, Charlotte Brewer, has been filling this role ad hoc. I would like council to officially fill this position, and so I'm asking for a motion to nominate a member of council to this position of council liaison to the Recreation Commission. Is there such a motion?
I'm going to nominate myself because I've got a lot of work in progress with the commission, including the work that's being done tomorrow.
Okay.
And also would have appreciated a heads up to this conversation.
I'd also like to nominate myself as well.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Ms. Mayo as the council liaison to the Recreation Commission. That's appropriate. I was getting
So is that, yeah, so I have two, so that'd be a first and a second. Either of you prefer who the first and the second are?
You can verse it.
Is there a second to Charlotte's nomination?
Sorry, the nomination is a motion, is that correct?
Now,
The nomination is not a
nominating
motion.
yourself, we need a first and a second on that. So you
Say
first
it.
it, you can second it.
Yeah, I'll second the nomination for myself.
And then I'm asking, was there a second for Ms. Brewer's nomination?
Well, there's no motion on it.
Right, no, that's, you have
You
to
gotta
go in order.
motion.
So the motion to, sorry, I'm a little confused. Motion to appoint Ms. Brewer was by Mr. Michelson, and there was a second. Was there a second?
There was a second.
I'm sorry.
You have to make-
Motion, no, but he's
Was-
motion to,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. The motion was to appoint Ms. Mayo.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay.
Ms.
By
Mayo
Mr. Michael.
seconded the motion.
Okay. Okay, so that would require a vote before we would then go to the next.
Correct.
I believe I nominated myself first before.
Yeah, I know, that's what
That's what I was asking, is that
So there was
Well,
no
that was a
motion on the
motion by
table.
me.
I made a motion.
Right.
I made the motion before you spoke up.
You nominated yourself, you did not make a motion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I agree with Sharon on this one. As
Not
Sharon said, I
semantics,
would like to
that's
ask if there is a second to that motion first.
I'd like the ability to finish the work that I started, if that matters to anybody.
Well, the mayor's running the meeting, so if he's deeming that
Right.
a motion, then it's a motion.
It's a motion. Is there a
Calls for
second?
a second.
I am unclear what this is for, because Charlotte is the chair, is the chair of community engagement.
Correct.
So this doesn't take that away.
No.
This
it doesn't.
just puts somebody on rec that works with community engagement.
It's the liaison from council, so not community engagement per se. It's the
So this
liaison
puts
from
somebody
council.
on Parks and Rec that works as a liaison for council.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what it
So-
does also is the way that it's been operating now is because the framework has not been established, which is taking place in tomorrow's meeting, and putting the bylaws in place would be to get them to work independently of the community engagement committee, so that then that way they're functioning on their own with their own officers. At that point, it would be spun out
And then
of,
once it is not in community engagement,
then it
you
can
would
be
not be
whomever.
on
Well,
it.
Correct.
Which
And
is
so this is
never
a little
happened in
presumptive.
It's never been part of the community engagement.
It is,
No, it's a separate
mhm,
commission. You've been operating in tandem, you've been having meetings
Mhm.
together, but just to be clear, these are separate bodies
Mhm.
altogether. And I understand, well,
it doesn't matter apparently, so it's fine.
I believe that you would surely be welcome, as any resident would be welcome to those meetings, and your familiarity with everyone, I would think would bode well.
I just think there's also an acknowledgement to be made of the work that I have done to continue to push recreation forward,
Yes.
and all of the work that's being done with it, and just allowing me the opportunity to finish that. So at a minimum, this vote is a little premature, at which time, once we are able to finish that piece, then it can be passed on to whoever the new liaison is.
Is there a second? All right. I would call for a vote on the first motion.
I do have to step out, thank you so much.
well then let's,
I believe that's a loss
so
of
there's
quorum.
no more quorum. Oh, yeah, we don't have a quorum. Is she stepping out and not coming back?
We can call a recess.
Well, actually,
I believe that's the situation.
we call them.
Once you have a quorum, you don't lose it, correct?
Right, once we have a quorum, we continue, but it's gonna have to be a unanimous vote with who's ever left.
You can't open the meeting without a quorum.
Correct.
You can continue with, interesting.
Once
Yes,
you
it was
have-
me too.
Once you have a
This-
quorum, you don't lose it.
Right.
You
I
can't
didn't know
start a
that.
meeting
Wow.
without a quorum.
Okay.
It's starting
That's
the
why
meeting,
David
but
had
can-
stayed that other week. We
Can
were
anyone
on quorum.
pass anything?
Well,
Even
the
if it's
meeting-
unanimous, it's only 3 out of 6.
It has to be unanimous.
How can any decisions be
Well,
The mayor would cast the tie-breaking vote.
Oh,
Well, no,
it's-
it has to be unanimous.
It would be
correct?
3
Yes.
out of potential 6.
So
There would be
Right.
3 abstentions.
Tiffany, she's right. We had a quorum, don't have a quorum anymore, but every vote would have to be a majority of the quorum. The quorum started the meeting was 4. It always is 4. So we're left with 3, but when the meeting started with our quorum, now we continue, everything will have to be majority.
Or 2
not
of the
majority,
mayors.
unanimous, correct?
Pardon,
Is it
unanimous, I'm sorry.
Unanimous,
Yeah,
so all
okay.
3 of us, the mayor would not have a vote.
Right, they
All
can't
3 of
be
us would have
tied.
to agree
They can't
on
be
any
tied.
business
Well,
go forward.
So if there was 3 abstentions and 3 yeses, would that not constitute a tie, which the mayor could
That
then?
would, but we have,
You don't have 3.
There's 1 abstention.
the majority is 3 now. And because we have lost our quorum, we have to maintain unanimous
Oh.
votes to go forward.
Oh,
Yeah.
meaning it would be everyone is a 3-1. Once you have quorum, then every vote is a 3-1?
Mr.
Well,
Bolton, it has to
anything
be
that passes would have to be a
2, and the
3-1.
mayor
That's what you're
is
saying.
the tiebreaker.
Understood. Okay.
Because she's considered.
Like something to-
she's
Yeah, I-
considered
The
abstention.
one meeting I
Yeah,
did
so-
during my round.
I think that's right. Let me clarify
I
that.
have it in my room.
Brittany, I want to make sure you're comfortable with this. I think it's a good point that, because her vote will be considered an abstention, which is considered a no vote, then if somebody else, yeah, it is. If somebody else votes no, we then do have a tie, which the mayor would break.
Gotcha.
That I'm not sure. why don't we take a 5-minute recess? Let's look up Robert's rules.
Yep, I got it.
Verify this,
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
and then we'll come back.
Well, I agree. So be it. We'll have a 5-minute recess. Thank you.
Was that a motion for a 5-minute recess?
That was a motion for a 5-minute
Second.
recess.
Second.
I was just gonna make a motion.
A state of recess.
We are.
Can you cut through on that one?
Okay, we are off